Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your day, making it wonderful, making it positive, making it everything you need it to be and more. Missed you guys, but I'm glad to be back here with you guys, chopping it up with you guys about a bunch of things that are going on out here. We got a lot of catching up to do, but this is something that just broke last night, and I felt like I should share with you guys in a quick live, since I haven't done a live in a while, okay? But again, I appreciate you all coming in. For those of y'all who have been following this Alec Murdaugh case, there's been some new developments in another passing, okay, and another unaliving of someone that has now been upgraded to something that I think we've all been wanting to see. For those of y'all who have been watching and who have been checking this thing out as of late, okay? We got some new information. You see the title down below. It kind of basically tells you what's going on, okay? But nonetheless, we're going to talk about it. Excuse me, still waking up. So if you guys can do me a favor, hit that like button down below. We got some breaking information. Again, I mean, it's breaking as of overnight, so I don't know how breaking it is now, but you know what I'm saying, okay? So be sure to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to do that. Send it past 300 likes. That would really, really mean a lot to me, okay? And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. You know your boys is working out hard out here in these streets to give you the conversation and the stories that you need for the day. All right, guys, we got to get into some things. And yes, myself, I am getting over a vicious cold, just so you guys know, okay? So there that is, okay? But getting that out of the way, we do have some information here that is very surprising. And actually not that surprising, because I was honestly expecting this to happen at some point. Let's be real. Alec Murdaugh was in a trial. He was found guilty. He obviously has been sentenced. Bye-bye. He went bye-bye now, okay? Everybody's happy about that. Good riddance. He is going to be seeing the inside of a prison cell for the rest of his natural life. But there was another story. There's actually two other stories, if I'm correct, that revolve around the Murdaugh family that still remain unsolved. One of them happens to be Stephen Smith, a young man, was found in the middle of the road with blunt force trauma to the back of his head, with no clues or anything else surrounding or around him. Now, the funny thing is that this family, the Smith family, was working so diligently trying to figure out what the heck happened to their son, Stephen, with no answers. Just his body found in the middle of the road with blunt force trauma to the back of his head, but with nothing else around him. And we're going to talk about this in more detail in just a minute, but I do want to share with you guys at least this title. We got some videos we got to look at. And also on top of that, Buster, who people are claiming he's connected to this unaliving of Stephen Smith, he's even come out with a statement. Now, I missed that a couple days ago, so I wanted to be able to share that with you guys as well, because I thought that was weird as well. Absolutely wild. But let's take a look at this really, really quick, okay? It says here, Stephen Smith's demise is officially ruled a homicide. It's about damn time. And I feel like, personally, I honestly feel like the only reason why it's finally being ruled a homicide is because they done caught Alec Murdaugh. That's the reason why. That's the only reason why I feel like they're actually starting to look into the passing of Stephen Smith, and they might be going into the passing of their housekeeper as well. But we haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about that story as of yet. But they are going to be exhuming Stephen Smith's body very, very soon so that they can do a full investigation into what actually happened to this young man. But anyway, I digress. Let me finish this title. Okay. So Stephen Smith's demise is officially ruled a homicide just 2 days after Buster Murdaugh denied vicious, baseless rumors that he was involved in the demise amid claims pair were linked romantically. Yes, they were together, allegedly. They were doing some things betwixt the sheets, allegedly, on the down low. But anyway, I think this is a very interesting piece of information because I feel like Alec Murdaugh, okay, was the big domino to get tipped over. And now everything else in its path is about to get knocked down, okay? So I found this to be very, very interesting personally, okay? But of course, like I said, there's more information that's going to be coming out as they start to exhume his body, as they start to look into this. The family went out of their way to basically do a crowdfunding, to do crowdfunding so that they could exhume Stephen's body so that they could look into what exactly happened to their son. But it's so strange to me because you got to remember, you have the Murdaugh family. They're very, very powerful in their town. So a lot of these things can be swept under the rug, pushed aside, ignored. But now that we have Alec Murdaugh in prison for the rest of his life, you can see that there's some sort of corruption going on here, especially when you see the Murdaughs kind of fly around like vultures over specific cases in their own hometown, which I found very, very interesting. Kimberly, thank you so much for the 500 yen. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate that. Okay. Silver Blue, yeah. Alleged love affair. Yes. It's actually, it's wild to me. Okay. It is wild to me. Very, very wild. Okay. Leo, thank you so much, Leo, for the comment. Big surprises. Sure. A whole lot of covered things done by the Murdaughs. Yeah. You know what? And the thing is that it's weird to me because if you really think about it, the admission of guilt is when you start seeing any representation of the Murdaughs flying around a specific case. Like Stevens. Apparently, the Murdaughs were approaching the mother, basically saying, the mother of Stephen Smith, basically saying, we'd like to represent your son. We'd like to represent your family over this particular case. And they're like, what? Why are you here? Why are you hitting me up? This is strange. That doesn't make no sense to me, right? It makes no sense. Okay. But to me, it seems like when you see the Murdaughs lurking, okay, when you see the Murdaughs lurking, that means they're up to no good, that they had some hand in it. Personally, that's what I think. Maybe y'all think something different. That's all fine. Keep the comments going down below, but that's where I stand on that. Okay. But let me get this super chat. Thank you, Nicole B. Thank you so much for the 2. Feel better. Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I appreciate it. But let us go into this, and thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And I appreciate all the super chats that are coming in and all that. And of course, what say you? What do you think is going on here? What do you think happened here? Okay. And of course, we're going to be looking at some videos and all that, but let me share with you guys some of these bullets. Okay. And of course, we still have the statement from Buster Murdaugh himself that I didn't get a chance to cover a couple days ago. But now, since we're talking about Stephen Smith, I'm like, okay, let me bring it back and get a chance to read that to you guys as well, which is absolutely wild as well. And I promise, Nicole, I will put up a poll here in just a minute. So let's get into these bullets really quick. So Stephen Smith was found unalive on July 8th, 2015 on a rural road near the Murdaugh property with blunt force trauma injury to the head. His family announced they will exhume his body following renewed attention on the case after Alec Murdaugh was found guilty of murdering his wife and son. You know, Maggie, Paw, Alec's son. Buster denies vicious rumors that he was involved in Smith's demise. Okay. And of course, they say, why was Buster Murdaugh linked to Stephen Smith's death? And that's a question I'm still trying to figure out myself, or I'd like to know a little bit more myself. Okay. But before we go into this article and do all that, I wanted to share this with you guys. We're going to go through this quick video. Okay. Kind of gives us a little bit more information about what's going on here. And again, this young man right here is no longer here because, well, people are alleging that there was some sort of something going on, you know, extra was going on the down low. But real talk, this is a young man that no longer is here because either he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, or they didn't like who he was because he was very proud and very comfortable being who he was. Or when you talk about Buster, maybe Buster didn't want people to know about his extracurricular activities with Stephen Smith. It's sad, y'all. It's sad. But still, no matter what, whether it was Buster or it is involved with Buster in any kind of way, it still does not justify, it still doesn't answer any of our questions on how he was left in the middle of the road, the way he was left in the middle of the road. There were ways, the way he was laid out in the middle of the road is very odd, y'all. It's very odd. You get hit in the back of the head, and the way he fell, excuse me, the way he was left in the middle of the road, it was almost like he was put on display. Again, before we go into this, let me break something down to you. They said that maybe he got his head, somebody hit him in the back of the head, or like a car, maybe a side view mirror on a car hit him on the back of the head, and then he passed out, or, you know, succumbed to his injuries in the middle of the road. One, why would he be in the middle of the road? Two, why wasn't there any skid marks around his body? Like tire marks around his body, broken glass around his body. There was nothing left around his body to tell the tale of a car hitting and running, of a car maybe sideswiping him and driving off. He was just laid out. Yes, exactly, J Love. It was staged. Like he was just staged. Boom. It's very, very odd. So, of course, no matter what, in my mind, I say it screams foul play. Now, does that have anything to do with Buster? I don't know. But when you have somebody staged in the middle of the road, you have all these other things, that screams foul play. Where Buster plays in this whole plot, in this whole case, I'm still trying to figure that out myself. Okay? But we got to take a look at that. Raven McCall. Dial M for murder. Yes. Dial M for muerte. You see what I'm saying? Okay? But like I said, it's so strange to me how he was displayed. But let's look at this video. And I got to jump in and out for foul play, for fair use. Okay. But we got to look into this, and this is wild. And OG Patrice, yes, I agree. This is a very, very, like this case gets crazier and crazier and crazier. This young man should still be on this planet, y'all. This young man should still be on this planet. And unfortunately, he's gone. And I keep thinking, is it all just because he was openly gay? I'm just saying that. He was openly gay. He was proud of who he was. He was comfortable in his own skin. Could it be that he was with somebody that wasn't comfortable in their own skin and wanted to hide the truth of who they are? So they took his life? Or could it just be a straight up hate crime? You got to put that into consideration too. Let's put that in consideration. What if Buster had nothing to do with being with Steven romantically, but just hated that he was comfortable but hated Steven because he was comfortable being himself? Something to think about, guys. Let's go into this. Like I said, I'll be jumping in and out. Hit that like button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. And of course, consider hitting that join button and joining the family, okay? I missed y'all. Really, real talk. I missed y'all. Real talk. Let's get into this. Oh, and I got so many more stories for you guys. I got a lot of catch up to do. So I will be doing some catch up. Trust and believe. I got another pop-up video for you guys later on this afternoon. I got some stuff for you guys. So keep coming back to this page. I was gone, but I wasn't gone that long. And I'm back. Let's go.
Classmate of Buster Murdaugh's, his, of course, notorious father, Alec, just convicted for the murders of his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul. He's serving 2 life sentences. We followed the case closely. So we have to point out there's no evidence. There's no actual evidence that we know of connecting any Murdaugh family member to Smith's death. Investigators say Alec Murdaugh and his brother came to the scene for unknown reasons, though the point has been brought up that they are lawyers who deal with a lot of auto injury claims, and this was presumed to be a hit and run until now. Buster Murdaugh denies having any involvement in Smith's death, despite so many rumors. Smith's mother says she thinks Steven was beaten to death.
Why and by whom?
That I don't know. That's what I need answers for.
Counselor Bland, is there any working theory?
I think it was a hate crime. I think, Steven was a very courageous young man to live an openly gay lifestyle in the low country of South Carolina in 2015.
Real quick, excuse me, real quick, I just want to say that, again, this could very well be a straight up HC. I can't say it very often. I'm just going to say HC, hate crime. Okay? HC. It could very well be that. It could be that it's a small town. This young man is openly gay, very, very comfortable in who he is, his lifestyle, okay? Which is totally cool, totally fine, in my opinion. But in a small town, not so much. So for me, even for myself, I'm still trying to figure out and trying to find out why there is a connection between Buster and Steven. I'm still trying to figure out that part. Now, I know we're all quick to go down this route because Alec Murdaugh is a very bad man, extremely bad man. And hey, maybe the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You got to remember, Paw was a bad kid. I mean, for the most part, he had his demons, he had his issues, etc. Okay, I don't want to speak too ill of the dead. May those two, Maggie and Paul, rest in peace. But at the same time, you got a family that believes that they're untouchable. You got a family that believes they're untouchable, that they are the law. But still, that does not connect Buster to Steven. And I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe a mother's intuition, that I don't believe a family's beliefs and theories. I'm just asking the question, right? You have to ask that question. Is there a connection? Where is that connection? Okay? That's the thing I want to know. Really, really bad. But let's continue here. And yeah, this is what my voice sounds like right now, guys. Okay. No matter how much water I drink, this is what I sound like. But I wanted to hop on and give you guys some news. I've been gone for a long time, and I wanted to give you guys some information. So sorry. It's not my voice is not velvety smooth today. Okay. So just ride with me. All right. Trying to give you guys the news. Let's get into this. Okay.
Let's bring in Bernardo Villalona, a seasoned criminal defense attorney and former senior homicide prosecutor in New York. I know you've been following the Murdaugh case, as so many Americans have, and then you think it's over with Alec being sentenced to prison. But now this case, questions have been swirling for many, many years. How did the state come to the conclusion to reopen?
Give it a second. Sorry, guys. Come on, what the heck? Hold on. What the heck, man?
Reopen this case.
There we go.
So this is a huge game changer, the classification of Stephen Smith's death. So you have to think, unless the case is classified as a homicide, there is no law enforcement investigation. There is no follow-up. There is no inclination in the sense of the prosecution being involved in this or people following up. So you have to think, in terms of this case now being classified as a homicide, something must have come up during the investigation having to deal with Alex Murdaugh and killing the wife and his son. Because according to law enforcement, is that based on that investigation, some information came up having to deal with the death of Stephen Smith. We don't know what it is, but what we do know, the game changer, is that his death is ruled a homicide, and now law enforcement will be involved in investigating to find out who is responsible for killing Stephen Smith.
Now, the thing is when you hear something like that, that's a very big piece of information. Now, one thing I'll say is, as they are sitting here saying, "Oh, there was information that was brought up, and therefore now we're looking at it as a homicide." Quick question. Oh, hi, yo, teacher, hey, why did you guys see that in the first place? Couldn't you see that there was foul play? How he was staged? How he was found in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the road, just laid out? How he laid down doesn't even show how he was actually brutalized. The action of him falling backwards that way, yet he was hit in the head, mainly in the back of his head. Make that make sense. So you're suddenly looking at that and going, "Hey, no. Now it's a homicide. Now it's foul play." Somebody make that make sense. You didn't see foul play when he was above ground, when you're investigating the scene, but now there's a little piece of information now that you suddenly say, "Nope, eureka. There's foul play now. He's been under the ground for years now." No disrespect, I'm just saying he's been under the ground for years. You're telling me that you're going to be able to look at that and say, "Oh, yeah." I mean, I'm not a forensic, specialist. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical examiner. I'm not a medical expert or anything of that sort. But you're telling me that now y'all are picking up the ball when y'all dropped it years ago. "Oh, yeah, no, my bad." Yeah, there's foul play there. Absolutely. It just doesn't make sense to me, man. Raven McCall, yes, cover up. Hell yeah, it's a cover up. Dag nabbit, this is a cover up. Whether it's Buster or no, this is a cover up. You can't tell me how he was laid out. It's just normal. That doesn't make sense. Missy Fisher, thank you so much for the 10. Well, personally, I can concentrate on the content when more. Well, personally, I can concentrate on the content when more because Pascal doesn't have the sensual, smooth voice today. No disrespect to Mr. Pascal. Well, lo siento, I wanted to give you guys some content, being sick sucks. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So now the thing is, let me fix that. So the thing is if you look at something like this, you see that it was a staged situation. To me, at least, it does. Okay, to me it screams foul play. What does this have to do? What does this have to do with Buster? What does this have to do with the Murdaugh family? Now, they said earlier that the Murdaugh family is involved. Okay. Involved. Sorry, they cover a lot of auto accidents, stuff like that. Could that really just honestly be the reason why they reached out to the Smith family saying, hey, we'd like to represent you. We'd like to fight on your behalf? Or were they actually trying to cover up for one of their loved ones, which they've been known to do? Okay. That's the thing I want to know as well. But, innocent until proven guilty, unfortunately, because it's quick. It's easy for us to sit there and go and assume Buster's the bad boy. He done this, that, and the third, but we have to be realistic here. So far, I have yet to see any sort of connection between Steven and Buster, but maybe there is a connection. Maybe there is. But then again, maybe there isn't. Let's continue, though.
And it's interesting to note, again, Buster Murdaugh, he does not admit to any guilt. He unequivocally denies any involvement. But they're going to unearth this young man's body after all of these years. In the short term, what would that mean for Buster?
So in terms of the short term, Buster Murdaugh has already came out and said that he had nothing to do with the death of Stephen Smith. Whoever is responsible for the death of Stephen Smith, I am sure that they are now shaking, that they are nervous because they thought that the books were closed on this investigation once it was ruled that it was an accident that he died as a result of. So now people are going to be looking into this. But also to add to it, because of all the news and media coverage of the Alex Murdaugh trial, of Buster Murdaugh, now you have that all eyes are on that town. All eyes are also more inclined to put in phone calls, to call the tip line as to any information you may have about Stephen Smith and what happened to him, that now law enforcement can actually look into it.
Yeah, and perhaps whoever is responsible for killing him would see that with so much attention that the world placed on this South Carolina community, we may find out more than they bargained we would learn. Could technology and evidence prove there was absolutely no foul play and exonerate Buster or anybody else tied to this case?
It's a fair question.
Could this be a time where the family might never know what happened to Stephen?
It's possible that you may never know what happened to Stephen Smith. You have to think, if this would have been classified as a homicide before, and when we're talking about the passage of time, it's been 8 years because he was killed in July 8th of 2015, that memories fade, evidence disappears. So the passing of time doesn't help an investigation. But what we're hoping for, we got to think that hopefully the phone of Stephen Smith was preserved in the sense that they can do an investigation on the phone. They can do a phone dump, find out where he was the last minutes before he was killed. Who was he talking to? Was he texting? What was he searching? Where was he walking or going to, his whereabouts? This is what classification of a homicide allows you to do, is invest resources do this exact investigation with technology and also at the scene itself and an exhumation of his body to get a more thorough answer as to what was the cause of his death. And hopefully there can also be like a toxicology to determine, was there anything in his system? Could he have been drugged?
Yeah.
There's so many questions that are unanswered because it was ruled an accident and not a homicide. And now you have the resources of law enforcement to be able to conduct those investigations.
Well, at least the family.
You know what's really wild, and I appreciate this lady coming on and talking about this. But if you really think about it, that is true. I mean, there's a lot that they. It's wild to me that they. I'm sorry. I'm still like, my mind is still kind of trying to wrap my mind around this as best as I can. Because real talk, you got Alec Murdaugh that was obviously found guilty for the unaliving of his loved ones, 2 of his loved ones. Buster's still on this planet, but because of Alec Murdaugh being found guilty, now they're about to exhume more than just Stephen Smith's body, by the way. But they're exhuming his body. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to do their due diligence, which is what they should have done 7 years ago, okay? 8 years ago, when this whole thing, almost 8 years ago, when this whole thing went down. They should have did this a long time ago, guys. This is not this should be a reflection on the local PD. This should be a reflection on SLED and their lack thereof. Their lack of due diligence, their lack of doing their job. Because this case could have been closed a long time ago, guys. A long time ago. And now they're reopening this. But the thing is that even this lady here just said it. I don't know her name. But what she said just a second ago is very, very true. There's a lot of things that could go bye-bye because he's been underground for years. He's been underground for years, guys. Let's not forget that. There's things that will go away, that will deteriorate. Does that make sense? He's been underground for 8 years, going on 8 years ish. Because I don't know how long he was, they were examining him and all that stuff. But at the same time, this is a full-on this is a full-on example of how badly SLED dropped the ball, even on this case, y'all. Even on this case. And I will say this. If it has anything to do with Buster, great. If it has nothing to do with Buster, but they finally zone in, focus on a person or a group of persons that did this to this young man, even better. So that's fine. If Alec Murdaugh's guilty verdict and his sentencing and all that stuff is to inspire them to dive into other things in hopes that maybe they're going to catch more bad guys through this situation, hey, that's fine. Cool. Just don't pin it on, I'm going to say, don't pin it on the wrong person just because of somebody being found guilty. I'm just saying that's not right. Let's be real. Let's be real. We got to be honest. And it's innocent until proven guilty. And it would be messed up if they find out that Buster has nothing to do with it. It's by a long shot, and they still try to pin it on him. I'm just being real. We got to be fair in this conversation, because we could sit here all day long and go, Buster done did it. He done did it. But did he? Let's keep it real. As much as I'd love to see the last of the Murdaugh family, okay, locked up. Like, I'm down for that all day long. But at the same time, I want them locked up because they did the thing. So that's the only question I have. That's the one burning question, because how can you really put him in the place in this particular area at this particular time doing the specific things to this young man? Or was this just a bunch of a-holes driving around, saw Stephen out here in these streets as he was trying to go and get gas for his car, and they decided to rough him up a little bit? Let's keep it real. We have to keep it fair. One thing, though, this is a little bit of a left turn, but I wanted to pull this up so that you guys know as well, because I said there are other people that are surrounding the Murdaugh family that have lost their lives. Not only just Stephen Smith, whom I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with that, and I'm going to get back to that here in just 2 seconds. I just want to give you guys another piece of information here so that you guys know what's going on here as well. There's another body that's going to get exhumed. Let me show you. It says right here, body of lawyer Alec Murdaugh's ex-housekeeper to be exhumed for re-examination. So as soon as he was found guilty, they said, we got to pull out all this stuff. Okay? Let's pull out all this stuff. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Now, it's not only just Stephen's case, which by all means, let's get justice for this young man, whether it is Buster or not. But we also got this situation going on as well. Another body is going to be exhumed. But the thing is this woman, this poor woman, perished on Murdaugh's property. Okay? So let me show you this really quick. We're going to go back. I promise. We're going to go back. We are going to go back. But this is their housekeeper. Okay? As you can see. But let me pull this up real quick. Okay? So we already know his former, Alec Murdaugh's former housekeeper will be exhumed as part of a new investigation into her mysterious demise, officials have announced. Gloria Satterfield, 57, who perished in February 2018 at the Murdaugh's home, will be disinterred with the permission of her family, SLED said on Friday. This is a complex process that will take weeks, not days, a SLED spokesperson told a news station. So we already know Murdaugh was found guilty, etc. Okay, because this was written on June 6th. Okay, but again, they are going to be looking into what happened to her and how this all went down. Her demise triggered a $4.3 million life insurance windfall that Murdaugh is accused of stealing from her two sons with aid of another lawyer. And again, but at the end of the day, you can see in this, they are going to be they are pulling out her body as well to find out what happened to her, how that whole thing went down, etc. That is just, to me, absolutely wild. Okay? Absolutely wild to me. Let me get some of these super chats really, really quick. I think I missed like 2 of them. Did I miss 2? I missed 3. My bad. Misty Fisher, thank you so much for the 5. I think Ellie did not bother to investigate and was paid off to look the other way. That's what I think too. I think that by whom, we don't know. We don't know all that. But that's the frustrating part. Because it could be Murdaugh, or it could be another powerful family that lives in that town. It could just be a cover-up. Could be somebody with connections within law enforcement. Like I said, it's vast, y'all. The speculations and the theories can go run wild with this thing. I got some other super chats. Hold on. S Dubs, what's up? Thank you so much for the 5. The corruption must stop. Sled did nothing. Scorpions did too much. Yeah. Stop the cycle. S Dubs. You know what? Let me say this. I agree 100%. We have been hearing nothing but very corrupt situations within law enforcement in so many different cities, so many different small little towns. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And who's to say that Sled isn't involved with some serious corruption or being run by a powerful family? That could be it too. And I will say this too. What are the chances of this being done? Because now they're saying that there's foul play. Finally, they're saying that there's foul play with Stephen Smith. But imagine if this happened with somebody who is just deeply connected, who has deep connects with the Murdaugh family. What if it was that? I know that's speculation. There's wild speculation right now. And we already know there's been wild speculation surrounding Stephen Smith's demise. But let's keep it real. What are the chances of there being some sort of connection, and whoever was did this unthinkable thing has a friend or a father, whatever, that's deeply connected with the Murdaugh family? So maybe through 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, the Murdaugh family is covering for some other family or for some other group of kids that did this unthinkable thing. Maybe. But I know that's crazy speculation, but just throwing that out there. Barking Mad, thank you so much for the 5. Even if Stephen's death was due to a hit and run, isn't that still? Yes, it is. If it was a hit and run, it'd still be muerte. Yes, it'd still be the M word. Absolutely. Did they ever look for the supposed driver that hit a man and took off? You know what? That's the thing. That's a damn good question. That's a damn good question. Still, hit and run is still the M word. It still is that. And then the other thing too, I'm going to say this too, and I don't mean to be rude, but while we keep this super chat up here, I got to ask you, if you run out of gas and you're walking down the street, do you walk down the street in the middle of the damn road? Do you or don't you? Doesn't matter if it's a lonely road that only a few cars drive through and all that. Why would you walk in the middle of the road? That's odd to me, y'all. That's odd. So he got hit, and then all of a sudden, his body there was no dragging of his body. There was no showing of that at all. His body being dragged after being hit, if there was tumbling at all these things, all signs of him being hit by a vehicle did not exist. There'd be tire marks or something on his body that would show a vehicle had hit him. Something. Nothing was there. And he was just laid in the middle of the road. Just laid in the middle of the road. Now, of course, they said also on top of this that there would be some more questions that will probably be popping up, or more questions that could get answered. The fact that they're exhuming his body, basically by saying, hey, we're going to be looking into this, running a toxicology report to see if there was anything in his system. Because why would you be in the middle of the road, y'all? Why? Somebody make that make sense. Why would you be in the middle of the road when you ran out of gas? And then when you perish, you fall in a very weird position. Like you almost collapse on the ground. You see what I'm saying? The way he fell, the way he was found on the ground in the middle of this road does not scream to me that he was hit by a car and he just tumbled into the middle of the street. Doesn't even say that he was hit by a car and maybe dragged a little bit, or his body what's the word? Flew from being hit by that car, depending on how fast the car was going down that road. His body would have been projected, if that makes any sense. But the way he fell does not scream to me that he was hit by a car. Blunt force trauma to the head, and only blunt force trauma to the head. The other thing too, yes, he could have been pushed out of a car. That's a possibility as well. But I don't think pushed out of a moving car. I think that they pulled up, shoved him out the car. And maybe that's how he just fell out of the car. Because if they pushed him out of the car while the car was moving, there would be marks on his body. There'd be proof from the road that he had been tossed out whilst a car is in motion still. It's a bit strange to me, guys. It's a bit strange. I got a couple super chats. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. We got more. Don't worry. There's more. Elfig, thank you so much for the 5. Why no after all this time? Because now he fell from grace. You know, I think this. Yes, I agree. I think that the only reason why there's inspiration to look into these other cases like the housekeeper and Stephen Smith is because of him being found guilty. Now they're saying, okay, this guy was a pathological liar. He was a professional liar, not a lawyer, but a professional liar. Okay. So they see this and they go, wait a second, there could be a connection. He's known to try to cover things up. He was trying to cover things up for Paul during that boating accident that took the life of that young girl as well. They were trying to do as much cover up as they could with that as well. And you could see that during the trial, that he is just a full-on pathological liar. So absolutely, once he was found guilty, they're like, well, we got to rip the Band-Aid off and look up all these other stories because these documentaries, let's keep it real. All these documentaries that came out talking about all the stuff that happened that surround the Murdaugh family proves to me that there's a lot of foul play and a lot of cover up and a lot of corruption that was going on in that town, all due to the Murdaugh family. Misty, thank you so much for the 5. These stories remind me of a In the Heat of the Night miniseries. Wow. I'm showing my age with this reference. Yeah. You know, that's a deep cut. I remember seeing those like reruns and stuff as a kid. But yeah, seriously, real talk. This whole thing is a TV show. It's a true crime TV show. It's insane how much BS has been out here and how much cover up that family did. And you know, we already know he's looking at hundreds of he stole so much money. He stole so much money, y'all. So much money. Okay? So much money. Who's to say he wasn't lying about so many other things? He swindled he finessed so many people, y'all. Who's to say he wasn't finessing more people and people's demise as well, just to cover his own ass or somebody else's own ass? It's insane. But again, still wondering the connection. I'm still wondering the connection between Buster and Stephen. It's still wild to me. But there's more, okay? Now, there's something that was put up about 2 days ago, a statement by Buster Murdaugh. Now, the thing is that, of course, a lot of us have been coming in here with our speculations, our theories, all of us thinking, oh, this dude done bad, okay? He done some bad, okay? Ooh, real quick, Tyler, exactly. You've covered BS like that before. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? If you were willing to cover for Paul, if you're out here willing to finesse the system to save your youngest, the black sheep of the family's bootay, who's to say that you were going to try? Who's to say you didn't try to do that before with possibly Buster and this Stephen Smith situation? Right? Many, many questions, y'all. Okay? Many, many questions. All right. So, real quick, let me show you guys this. Now, sorry for that left turn, but I saw that comment and I liked it a lot. And that's a very good point. You covered a lot of BS. You try to cover your ass and a lot of people's asses around you before. So who's to say you haven't tried to do this with some other deaths around your family that surround your family? But Buster, a lot of people are sitting here saying, yo, you're next, man. You're next. Here it is. I think it's very interesting, y'all. Okay. He did make a statement. This mother lover had to make a statement. This dude had to make a statement. Okay. We got the statement right here. We're going to read it together as a family. All right. So, a statement from Buster Murdaugh. I have tried my best to ignore the vicious rumors about my involvement in Stephen Smith's tragic death that continue to be published in the media as I grieve over the brutal M's of my mother and brother. I love them so much and miss them terribly. I haven't spoken up until now because I want to live in private while I cope with their demise and my father's incarceration. Before, during, and since my father's trial, I have been targeted and harassed by the media and followers of this story. This has gone on too long, or far too long. These baseless rumors of my involvement with Stephen and his death are false. I unequivocally deny any involvement in his demise, and my heart goes out to the Smith family. I am requesting that the media immediately stop publishing these defamatory comments and rumors about me. Okay, let me say this really quick. Because, there's more. Nope, that's it. Just want to make sure that's all that's being said. Because it's nice and blown up here. Okay? Now, let me just say this. I understand him feeling harassed. I get it. There's a lot to think about. I mean, let me make this abundantly clear. I'm not on Buster's side, okay? I'm not. Because I'm about to sit here and say, if you have nothing to say, don't say anything at all. Just let it be what it is, because actually the more you poke the bear, the more the bear comes after you. So by him sitting here making this statement like, I's innocence, is not helping his cause at all whatsoever. Quit poking the bear. Don't say nothing. You don't need to say anything at all. We already know that you're grieving. We already know that you're heavily verklempt over your father getting incarcerated for the rest of his natural life. We already know all that. Don't say anything. Say nothing. You don't need to make a statement right now. Period. And I will say this too. The more people, or the more The more you talk about this, the more people start talking about it. That's all. And I know that there's allegedly some other content creators that have been out here in these streets getting all up in his face and stuff like that. And let me tell you, okay, yeah, cover your stories, do what you need to do, but do it. Keep it classy, okay? Real talk. Keep that mother lover classy. It doesn't help going all up in their private domicile, trying to take photos of them while they're behind closed doors, reacting or dealing with the stuff that's going on with them. Whether this guy is a monster or not, we do not know. Okay? Whether or not we know if this guy's a monster or not, let's let the court decide. Let's well, not SLED. Let's not trust SLED anymore. But let the investigation start happening so that we can find out exactly what went down here. Okay? Because even myself, I'm still quite curious. Where's the connection? Right? Where's the connection? So let's go. Hold on. Let me get this really quick. One second, guys. I'm sorry. Because at the end of the day, when you see something like this, listen, I feel for the family, but you still have to put this man in that place at the right time doing said thing. That's the problem. That's the issue I see happening here. Okay. So on Tuesday, attorney Richter told TMZ Live there was a number of facts that clearly point to the M word, which includes Stephen's body from the torso down had no injuries. There were no car parts found at the scene. His shoes were still on. He supposedly walked 3 miles in the dark without ever using his cell phone. Again, if you look at it, it just doesn't make sense. I hear stories about people getting hit so hard by a car that their shoes actually do fly off, or at least one flies off. The impact is so intense, but there's no proof. Again, when you hear about that there were no injuries on his torso, on his whole torso, he gets hit and he gets thrown from the impact of a said car, right? There's no bruises or marks being dragged across concrete, gravel, etc. No bruises. Everything's on his head. Foul play, guys. Foul mother-loving play. So, moving on, Smith's mother, Sandy, said she wants to find the real reason for her son's demise and has stood by her opinion that he would have walked through the woods if his car broke down, not along the road. And you got to remember this too. There's a lot of kids out here, especially you live in a small town like this, you're going to remember, oh, okay, if I cut through this, okay, if I cut through here, I can get to that Phillips 66 over there and get some gas. It's just weird. Then also, that's what they also said something about, the lady said earlier that we would be finding out more information, or they can look at his digital fingerprint, right? Things that he was saying, maybe who he texted, the conversations he was having, who he called, etc. He never used his cell phone. To me, it sounds like he got picked up. To me, he got picked up by some guys, or by some people, or by one individual. But it still makes you wonder how all of that went down the way it did. And then why maybe gingerly place him in the middle of the street, or why shove him out of the car like that? It's so weird to me, guys. It's so weird. But let's continue. Okay. So he would have walked through the woods if his car broke down, not along the road. Okay. So patrol officers told state law enforcement they believed the teen was emmed, but there was no further information, or there was no further investigation. So in June 2021, it's been revealed that the police investigating the teen's suspicious demise probed witnesses over any relationship that that Stephen may have had with the heir to a powerful South Carolina legal dynasty. Since then, 2 documentaries by HBO and Netflix have aired rumors alleging that Buster Murdaugh was involved in a romantic relationship with Smith, the 26-year-old surviving son of double monster Alec Murdaugh. Released a statement Monday saying the speculations has gone on far too long. Now, we already know he was convicted of Alec Murdaugh was convicted of taking the lives of Maggie and Paw, and he's been sentenced to life in prison. So he gone. Okay. So the thing is that they're basically saying right now that this is all just hearsay. This is all just rumor mill conversation. This is all rumor mill conversation about what happened to Stephen. And again, I say, where I want to see the connect. I want to see the connection. Show me the Carfax. That's what I want to see. Show me the Carfax. Because we could sit here all day speculating and conspirizing and all that stuff. We could do that all day long. But you're just telling me that this is just a small town rumor? There's plenty of small town rumors out here. But that doesn't automatically mean that that's the actual truth. So we see something like this and it's like, okay, again, I mean, let me pull that up again. Where's that? It's way beyond this. See, so they just aired rumors. Hold on. They just aired rumors alleging that Buster Murdaugh was involved in a romantic relationship with Smith. That does not confirm him doing anything unthinkable, anything monstrous. Let's keep it reals, y'all. Does it? I understand sometimes rumors are true, but even I don't believe the Richard Gere gerbil story. Okay? You get what I'm saying? Plenty of rumors and plenty of stories out here in these streets. Okay? But that doesn't automatically mean that just because a town has this rumor flying around doesn't automatically mean that this person did what they did or did what they are alleging them of doing. I'm just saying that out loud. I want to see proof. I want to see proof. Show me the Carfax. Again, his cell phone can explain a lot. His body, when they exhume his body and they go through his body again and they do the toxicology, etc., sure, there's going to be a story being told there. But his digital footprint on his phone, whatever he has on his phone, is going to say a whole lot more. Remember, his car ran out of gas. His car ran out of gas. And then he got out of his car. He took off. His car ran out of... Oops. What? His car ran out of gas. He got out and he walked. Who did he call? Okay? Who did he call? Couldn't have been just one person he called. Did he text anybody? The other thing too, yes, Ellen, thank you. Let me pull that up really quick. Boom. He left his wallet in the car. Why? Thank you. That's another piece of that's another detail. Thank you. If you're going to go out and get gas, why would you leave your wallet? Were you going to use Apple Pay? You in a small town. You think in that small town they got something like that where you can just use your cell phone? No. So what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here? Okay. Did I mess S-Dubs, did I mess you up with the Richard Gere gerbil story? Yeah, I know it's too early for that. Just drink your coffee faster. You'll be fine. But I'm just saying, rumors go out here like crazy, okay? Especially if you got people who are kids or they're a family of power. You're going to have people going on out here talking all kinds of crazy stuff because out of jealousy or they just don't want them to be so perfect. And clearly the Murdaugh family was not perfect, but that does not automatically mean that Buster was out here doing these things. Maybe he paid some people. I don't know. But at the same time, that doesn't automatically mean that he was out here knocking boots with Stephen Smith. But then again, he could have been. But does that put him in the place at the time where Stephen Smith lost his life? That's all I'm saying. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's the only pushback I'm saying right now. Okay? But let me get these super chats really quick. Yeah, again, wallet left in the car. Why? If you're gonna go get some gas, why leave your wallet in your car? And then after that, he's found in the middle of the road, staged in the middle of the road. Someone make that make sense, y'all. Someone make that make sense. Por favor. Okay? Hold on real quick. Okay, I'm trying to get these super chats. I'm sorry. And thank you so much for the super chats, guys. I missed you guys a lot. It's been a long couple days, okay? But it feels good to be back. And Maria Gutierrez, I'm going to get to that comment here in just a second. I see you. I see you out here. Misty Fisher, thank you so much for the 10. Pascal, I wonder if they uncovered paperwork or other evidence that concerns these other cases. And that's why they are choosing to dig up the two people up to and investigate. Well, I feel like they obviously have some sort of information, enough for them to look at Stephen Smith and say it's ruled a homicide now, which to me should have been ruled a homicide 8 damn years ago, but whatever. But they clearly have something that they found, at least with Stephen, that screams foul play. More information, whatever that might be, took them 8 years to find it. Not just because his wallet was in the car. He was found 3 miles away in the middle of the road, staged with just blunt force trauma to his head, but no bruises to his body, his torso, or anything. Doesn't make any sense to me at all, guys. It doesn't. But clearly they see something, or they found something that's telling them otherwise. And that's exactly what I think they're trying to do right now. Because they couldn't just randomly shoot from the hip and go, yep, homicide now. No, they found something. And we heard that from that woman just a little bit ago. They found something, okay? S-Dubs, thank you so much for the 5. Retired paramedic. I have seen this scenario. Old truck side mirror hit the head of a lady. Bad head trauma. She walked a ways, but then fell over. Ooh. That's a new one for me. Let me tell you this. You said she walked a ways. Now, let me ask you. Maybe you can answer that because I see the 2 chats, okay? Or I got two chats running. How far did she walk? That's what I'd like to know. How far? Because I could see something happening where a side view mirror, bap, hits you, right? In the back of the head. And I don't know how tall Stephen Smith was. So it has to be SUV or a truck. Maybe one of those big old trucks, you feel me? To hit you in the back of the head, okay? But then once you get hit in the back of the head, how far did she walk? Because he walked and then what? He just slumped to the ground like that? It's a possibility, but that's still muerte. That's still the M word, baby. That's still foul play. That's still somebody hitting him and running. Okay? That's still someone hitting him and running away. There's also the other thing too. I've seen and covered stories like this before, where say somebody is walking on the side of the street, or they're running, like a jogger, just a regular jogger. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some douchebags, I said it, I don't care, lean out their truck or lean out their ride with a baseball bat, like they're going to go off and like smash a bunch of mailboxes. But instead of hitting a mailbox, they go and they target one person and hit him on the back of the head as they're driving off. I've seen that too. I've covered stories like that too in the past. That really does happen. Some jerk off has to lean out the side of the car and bap, hit some random person just because they could. Would that automatically make that person walk out into the middle of the road and then slump to the ground? But I feel like that is a possibility of what could have happened to Stephen here. That he's walking on the side of the road and then bap, gets hit in the back of the head with a baseball bat. That's what I think. Okay? That's what I think. Now, was that by Buster's hand? We don't know. We don't know. But no matter what, there is full-on foul play here. There's foul play. Okay? There is foul play. Hold on, where was it? Where was it? And that's exactly the same thing. So the Maria Gutierrez, exactly. His cell phone data can solve the case. Absolutely. And it's everything, well, if they can ping something, so on and so forth. Whatever dialogue, whatever correspondence that he had, whether it was text, a DM, a phone call, whatever it is, you'll be able to find it. But that's the thing. Why didn't they deep dive this ish before? That's the part that doesn't make sense. Okay? And Valerie, from my understanding, I thought that from my understanding, from my remembering, from my memory, I thought that the gas, like he was out of gas. And then, of course, the cap was opened. But then again, that's one detail I don't really remember, unfortunately. I don't remember. Yep, they still have old school gas pumps down there. So it's not like he can go over there and use his Apple Pay or something like that, like he was even using that. He probably had to use a card or cash. That's it. So why was his wallet in his ride still, and he was found miles away from his ride? It just doesn't make sense. Now, what S-Dub said earlier of him possibly getting hit in the back of the head and maybe him wandering off for a little while in pain, that's a possibility. That could. But then in my mind, I would think, wouldn't you dial 911? But then again, I don't think you're in the right mind when you get hit like that. You're dazed. But why would you walk? Why would you walk miles and then slump to the ground? And then the other thing too, story's always in the blood too. Wouldn't there be a trail? Sorry guys, I'm still here. Wouldn't there be a trail of some sort of, wouldn't there be a trail of some sort of blood while he's walking? If he was to walk that far? They say there was nothing there. It just seems, I'm sorry, it's weird, y'all. It's freaking weird. Okay? It's weird. And I'm still trying to figure it out myself. And yes, Maria, I agree. He needs justice no matter what. Because this could very well be an HC situation or a lover's quarrel that ended to his demise. There's so many questions, y'all. Okay? So many questions. And Angela, yes, it looks like they are going to be exhuming the housekeeper's body as well. Okay? And Kimberly, yes, technology has improved much more than 8 years ago. Fingers crossed for the justice, yes. So I keep thinking that, but the thing is with that, you can have his phone right now. You don't need to exhume his body to find out the truth or not the truth or whatever. Okay. But again, still, no matter what, you look at this stuff, you hear the rumors. Again, it's still just speculation and rumors. I'm waiting to see a photo of all them together. You know what I mean? Both of them together. Both Buster and Steven together, all chummy, right? Let me see that. Let me see proof of that. Just because his pop is a piece of trash, does that automatically make him a piece of trash too? Now, it could very well be. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? You see Paul. Paul was something else too. Could Buster be that bad of a guy? Could he? These are the questions that we need to get answered. And hopefully by the exhuming of Stephen Smith's body, by them going through his cell phone and getting that information, hopefully we'll get closer to some actual truth and actual proof of foul play. But this could also just be straight up a young kid being a victim to hate crime. I hate to say it like that, but it could very well just be that. Remember, remember, this is a this is a small town. Okay? This is a very, very small town where rumors fly. And I'm sure they have their own ideas, their own theories, their own way of life, where they're not cool with certain things. And they let things fly under the radar for a little while until they can't deal with it anymore. And that could very well be what it is. And it's frustrating because this young man should have been able to live his life, love who he wants to love, and just be happy. That's all what we want for our kids, right? That pursuit of happiness, to find that person that they can love, grow on and prosper, right? This is a messed up story. And hopefully we're going to find out more information here, okay? By them digging into this getting this information out, I want them to prove a rumor, because right now it's just a rumor. And it's easy for us to lean on that rumor now with Alec being found guilty, seeing the rest of his remaining days behind bars. But let's be real. Let's be real. We have yet to see that rumor be actual fact. I'm still waiting for that. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to try to do some more information or more shows for you guys today and all that. I'm going to go and rest this voice a little bit. But I appreciate all y'all being here. It's been a while, so I missed you guys. I wanted to hop up and talk to you guys. Okay. It's been a while. But anyway, again, thank you guys so much for being here. Please do me that favor. Hit that like button down below. Get it to 300 likes. A like doesn't cost a thing. Just helps with the story, helps the show get out there to more people. Okay. I got a member chat. Kimberly, thank you so much. It was good to see you, Pascal. Missed you so much. Thank you for the show. Hope you feel better ASAP. Take care. Have a good day, everyone. See ya. Thank you so much for your membership chat. I really do appreciate it, Kimberly in Japan. Again, hit that like button down below. Crush it. Make it scream out your name. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. You know your boy's working hard out here in these streets, even with or without my voice. So please hit that subscribe button to be greatly appreciated. Anyway, it is time to get going, guys. Have a great one. I got some more stuff for you guys later on this day, so be sure to be on the lookout for those, okay? Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another, and I'll see you guys. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. All right? Let me wait till this camera comes back on. It's been acting the fool lately. Man. All right. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys very, very soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.